Good morning, Rainbow Patches. How are you doing today? Really nice to see you. Good morning, Macaulay. Good morning, Kim. I'm glad you find this soothing. This is my vocal warm-up. Oh gosh. And the candle went out. I like to sustain single notes because it's a kind of like yoga posture of the vocal tract. What to have for breakfast? Well, you do let me know once you figure it out, okay? Good morning, Dora. So this morning we will begin in the Book of Deuteronomy. Good morning, Paige. I'm so happy you're here. We will begin in the Book of Deuteronomy with the character of Moses. Let me show you an image. This is not an image that I usually show in the stream, but I think it's a very interesting one. So you see, this is Moses, and this is from an episode in the Book of Deuteronomy where there are snakes in the camp. Snakes, like this. The Israelites are wandering through the desert, and there are snakes that are killing them, biting their heels. And so Moses talks to Yahweh, and he says, Yahweh, there are people dying of snakes. And Yahweh says, I'm angry at them. They weren't worshiping me right. They were ingrateful. I'm a patriarchal lunatic. And Moses says, please forgive them. And Yahweh says, okay, here's what you should do. Take a snake and set it upon a pole, like this. And then anyone who is bitten by a snake shall look at it and live. So what does that story mean? Ooh. Oh no. Am I tilted? Am I very tilted now? No, I look okay. I guess I look a little tilted. Well. Isn't it an interesting story? It's it's a bit paradoxical, right? Like it doesn't really correspond to the messaging that we get elsewhere in the book. I mean, like it follows this consistent pattern that you see in that story of the Israelites are wandering through the desert. They're hungry, they're cold, they're tired, they don't have enough water, and they start complaining and they do ungrateful things, like they worship a golden calf, or they, like, I don't know what they do. They do ungrateful things, and then God punishes them, and then they pray to God, and then they agree that they're going to be good again. Like, that's sort of the format. And throughout this format, Moses is sort of like standing there on the rocks, like talking about it, like, hey, here's what y'all should do. Here are these instructions on how to live a good life. And this chapter is particularly interesting because instructions are basically idolatry, right? Like, take a snake and put it on a pole. It's a reference to the old snake goddess. It's a reference to the old snake goddess. Can I show you a picture of the old snake goddess? I'll have to take this phone off again. Alright, let me show you a picture of the snake goddess. So this here is the snake goddess of Knossos, right? Well, she's cut in half, but you can see her. She's got snakes. The snake goddess of Knossos was a statue. Whoop. Come back. Haha. The snake goddess of Knossos was a statue that was found in the castle of Knossos on the island of Crete. A long time ago. Hey.
Oh, wait a minute.
I can be interrupted.
Okay. I was looking for a card that I could pay my D&B fine with.
Yeah. In the green purse that is hanging on the microphone, there is a wallet. And inside that wallet, there is a blue card labeled PayPal. Yeah, that one. That's the one.
Thanks.
Bye,
Hi,
friend.
internet friends.
Snake goddess in Crete. I can be interrupted. Do you know that you all interrupt me all the time? You all interrupt me all the time with questions. Hey, tell me about this, tell me about this. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you about the snake goddess in Crete. So there was this snake goddess in Crete, and we just saw her, right? And there were snake goddesses all across the Eastern Mediterranean. And so to have in the Torah, right, like this book about monotheism and patriarchy, to have this thing of like, oh, there are snakes in the camp and they're killing people. But here's what you do if you're being killed. Crucify the snake. Crucify the snake. And worship an idol on a pole, right? Like it's Asherah worship. They're describing Asherah worship cryptically. Who was Asherah? Asherah was this goddess. What a nice goddess. This is Asherah. Asherah and Yahweh were worshipped together. So this is the a tablet from Kunlet Arjud that shows Yahweh and his Asherah. There we are. That's what the inscription says. So Yahweh and Asherah were Canaanitic gods, and they were worshipped in concert. And we have this book now, this Book of Deuteronomy, that like shows some of the ways, the evolving ways in which they were worshipped. And so Moses is wandering through the desert with his people, and they sin, and then he lectures them, and then they go on their way, and this is the pattern that we're in. And in the middle of this pattern comes the following words, the words that I like to start this live stream with. I'm glad that you liked that interaction. Yes, that was my friend. That's some manufactured authenticity for you. Yeah, they'll come back. Foxy, are you in love with me, or are you in love with my image? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. Moses is talking about God, and he's saying, hey, all of those names that you know, they're just images. Yahweh, Asherah, Eloheinu. Right? There's something underneath, and the something underneath thing is harder to access. Right? So Moses says, Shema Yisrael, Asher Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. Listen, Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu is one. Is that a cat? No, that's my friend. You did it?
I did it. And I sent you an email.
Mm-hmm.
It says, blah, 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 blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. They like it when you interrupt me.
Do they?
They thought that I was very graceful in handling the interaction with the credit card, that I was able to switch my attention easily.
Huh. What are you telling them?
Manufactured authenticity is a thing that I do. And also that you're great.
Please don't tell them that. I'll watch your manufactured authenticity for a second.
Don't tell them that? Alright, that's fair.
You don't know me.
Okay. We're in the Via Hafta. I'm just beginning. And I'm very verbose today. But that's okay. The Shema says, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, all these gods are one. And that, it's hard to know what to do with that. Like, the meaning of that has changed every day for the last 2,500 years. Like, it's too simple to mean anything, really. It's just, you're just saying a bunch of random syllables, actually. Yahweh, Asherah, Eloheinu. Like, yeah, and they've got, like, deep cultural roots and meaning, but they don't, when you try to actually figure out what they mean, they don't mean anything. They're just names. So Moses is saying all of these names, they're actually they're all images of something deeper, right? And what to do with that is the next part of the Book of Deuteronomy, if you have to. And the next part goes like this. ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר נוחי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאוהות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. I'm singing it wrong. In what ways am I singing it wrong? I would love to be corrected. My Hebrew's not very good, but maybe you don't speak Hebrew either? He had to put himself in fleshly blood so he could come to earth to tell us about him. That's one way of paraphrasing John 16. That's pretty good. Some kind of Jewish-infused paganism. Yes, that's basically it. You and your father are one. Yep, that one too. And I'm glad you like my voice. Jesus is Kokor.
Who's Kokor?
The user who finds my voice calming, their name is Jesus is a Kokor.
Oh, a Kokor.
A Kokor, yes.
I heard Kokor. I thought it was
Well, you know, the names are very tiny and I can't quite read them, and so I often mispronounce them the first or second time. And then sometimes there are silly jokes like that. Do I believe there's one God, Jesus? I mean, yes. All of those questions could be framed a little differently, but yes, I do believe those things.
I better go. I'm supposed to do few things this morning.
All right, friend. Goodbye. Free Palestine. Yes, let's freeze Palestine. You're a rookie mycologist. That's great. So I'm getting distracted. Y'all are being very kind. I actually appreciate the little Bible interpretations being thrown out in the stream. Would yes and no both and be an answer? Yes. Yes, it would. There's some themes here. I think people ask me questions that just don't quite have the right structure. Do you believe in this? Are you a boy or a girl? Yes and no. The goal here is to get outside of non-dual thinking. And outside of dual thinking. Outside of both duality and non-duality. Outside of reality and non-reality. That's where we'll find the thing. So how do we do that? Well, the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et hanat Elohecha ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך והיו הדברים האלה אשר נוחי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומייך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבת על מזוזות ביתך So these words, right? If we start with this terrible paradox of okay, I'm telling all of you, you're framing your questions wrong. It's not yes or no. God is one. Find the reality underneath. This is literally ineffable. That reality and unreality are one. It's just let's play with the infinite paradox, and we can play with the infinite paradox forever. And I can tell you're framing the question wrong. You're well, but I have to divide the universe into pieces, otherwise I can't know it. And we can just go on and on and on. And this prayer cuts through that philosophical trap of actually contemplating infinity and where that can lead you, and says, listen, you shall love this ineffable thing, these syllables, Yahweh Eloheinu. You shall love them with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words that I am speaking to you today, right? The words that are coming out of my mouth and being picked up as waves of light by my cell phone image sensor, and then transformed as different kinds of waves of light to a cell phone tower. Gosh, I cannot get this shawl to work. And then from a cell phone tower to another, and then to another, and to another, and then finally into your phone, and then into your eyes and ears, and into your body, right? The words that I'm speaking are inside your body. Take them to your heart, right? That's literally what the translation of the word says. And then, what next? Teach them to your children. Teach them to those who listen to you. And say them when you get up, and say them when you go to bed. And say them when you are at home, and say them when you are away. And you shall bind them as a symbol on your hand, and let them serve as a sign on your forehead. And you shall attach them to the doorposts of your house and on your gates, right? Say the words again and again and again. So you ask me if I'm a boy or a girl over and over and over, and I say yes or I say no, right? Because actually these things do not exist in the world of yes and no, in and out, right? They're more ineffable than that, because all the things are the one thing, right? The serpent eats its tail. It contains itself. It has both inside and outside simultaneously, right? So this is this paradox that I refuse to engage with dualistically. And we say it over and over again. And it's okay. Maybe one day, as we loop through this conversation cycle, maybe one day we'll take on that non-duality more rigorously, more physically. The separations between us and the rest of reality won't matter so much. We'll dissolve, right? We'll become light. will die. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. Sometimes I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. Or if what I'm saying is interpreted the way I want it to be said. There's a lot of challenge in translation. Why does it matter? Why am I stuck on this topic? Why do I care? That is an excellent question. Why am I stuck on this topic? Good. Once we give our lives over to Jesus, we start eternity with him. Perhaps. Am I a child of God? Perhaps. Am I a part of a specific religion? No. Perhaps. Judaism. Let me tell you a little bit about the history of my people. Right? So, there's this story. There's this story that the Jews went out of Egypt and then they conquered the land of Israel. That's the story. And like a more historically accurate version of the story would be that Egypt was occupying the land of Canaan, and as that part of the Egyptian empire collapsed, new political authorities emerged, and they called themselves Israel. But they did have to conquer. They did have to destroy cities and steal them. Right, and so that's the history that the people of Israel come into: occupation from Egypt, theft of the land, and they come up with this story about themselves. And this is a version of it that Moses says. Right, this is why I'm stuck on this story, because it reverberates today. It reverberates today. I'm drinking water out of the milk jug. So the story that Moses tells them after the Via Hafta, after he says repeat these words over and over and over again, right? After he says those words, he says, all right, and here's why they're important, right? Here's why they matter to us in this physical form that we are in. V'chaya. Ki v'achaya Elohecha el ha'artz asher nisbai lavotecha levram liyiskach u'Yaakov latetlach avrim gedalot v'tavot asher lo vanita ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר למילת וברות הטובים אשר לא עשת בקרבים בזיתים אשר נתת והלכת ושבת הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר תשכח מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. When Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. On a more serious note, when you say the words, I've studied religion, you woke speaking. Raven, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but that's interesting. So what do these words mean? Do my housemates watch my live? Sometimes they do, yes. What do these words mean? When Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you. Alright, so there's this myth that Israel is based off of, that the land was originally theirs, that their forefathers lived there. Before the time of occupation, before Egypt took over, our forefathers were here. And this was their land, right? That's the original myth. So when you're returned back to that land, when you receive your freedom after generations of oppression, Eretz Mitzrayim, Mibet Avadim, generations of oppression in Egypt, the house of bondage, right? Well, when you go into this land and you find, what do you find? You find great and flourishing cities that you did not build, and houses full of all good things that you did not fill, and hewn cisterns that you did not hew, and vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill, right? Things that aren't yours. When you find these stolen goods, Joshua, right, Moses is really speaking to Joshua, because this literally happens in the next book. Joshua, when you go into Jericho and you tear down the walls, and you kill all the people inside, and then you occupy it, You live in houses that you didn't build. You drink from a spring with cisterns that you did not hew. Do you know how much water there is in Jericho? Not very much. There's a single spring. I've been to that spring. Tel Es Sultan. Right? I've been there. I've seen the water that comes out of that spring. And Moses is saying, listen, when you go to that place, remember that it is stolen. Remember that it is stolen. And for the last 3,000 years, 4,000 years, forever 1,000 years, since the dawn of history, the land has been stolen. And it is stolen today. It is occupied today. There is injustice and oppression there today. No water is stolen. No water is stolen. So, I live on stolen land too, right? I don't live in Palestine, I don't live in Israel, but I live in the United States of America. I live on Oneida land. And I drink from cisterns that I did not hew. And I eat from vineyards I did not plant. So, I remind myself every day that I live on stolen land, and that is the root of my history, right? My grandparents' house was stolen. They were forcibly removed from it. Their families were killed. They were given no inheritance. And they made their way to America, right? Like, we all live on stolen land. All land is stolen land. They had their land stolen, and so they went to a different stolen land. That's the story. That's the story. Hi, Raven. You don't have time to stick around today, but thank you for saying hi. I am well. I'm glad you're still coming by. I've missed you. Good morning. Enjoy this beautiful day. I am enjoying this beautiful day. No land is stolen because we're born on it, not born owning it. So that's an interesting proposition. So you reject the idea that land can be owned at all, perhaps. Of course I saw your comment. I mean, the comments fly fast, but like, when I see someone I know, I pay attention. Good morning from Baltimore. My position hurts your knees. Takes practice to sit like this. Takes a lot of practice. Yeah, the camera is tilted. I don't like how tilted the camera is, but there's not much I can do about it. Are we gonna make noises again today? Yeah, let's make some noises. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. You're an Indian, and you don't like me talking on your behalf. Sodom and Gomorrah. You don't like me talking on your behalf. What specifically don't you like me mentioning? In what way am I speaking on your behalf, Sodom and Gomorrah? We don't need you as a representative, and you've shared no play nor blood on this matter, so I'm not sure I'm trying to be an Indian representative. I'm not sure that's what I'm doing. I'm certainly representing a Jewish lineage, right? Like, I claim to be that, but I don't claim to be Indian. So I'm a little bit confused as to what it is that you think I am doing. Oh my god, so many messages. I'm native, go ahead and speak your piece, because so far you've been respectful about our plight. Yes, I am Jewish. Oh gosh, so many comments. So many comments. How do I get to the bottom? Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. You're half native, you're not doing anything wrong, they're just trying to make me feel like shit. Well, I don't feel like shit, but the issue of cultural appropriation is a real one that I want to be very sensitive to. And, I talk about it often on this stream, and if people want to engage to... You're fine with me acknowledging... land acknowledgements are, fairly typical things now. And me doing this kind of land acknowledgement is, it's more religious than most, I suppose. But I got distracted. Let's go back. Alright, so there's a prayer to Yahweh. And I didn't actually say the prayer to Asherah because I got distracted. What a live stream. I got distracted. So, yes, I'm claiming this is stolen land. Who you are, and blessed to be born of Jewish descent. I am who I am. Am I blessed? Who knows? Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. Baruch atah Asherah, Unat Malacha Haolam, Asher Yitzaret Ha'adam B'Chachama Uvara V'O. I repeat the name of Asherah Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. So, these two prayers are daily prayers spoken by Orthodox Jews. I've changed the names of some of the gods in them, right? Actually, Orthodox Jews don't say the name Yahweh or Asherah. That is a choice that I have made to try to personalize these deities. I was reading the Book of Jeremiah recently, and so much about the Book of Jeremiah is this, Yahweh really wants you to know him as a character. And so that's what I try to do. And, right, so if Yahweh were a character, well, certainly Yahweh would not have made me a woman. He didn't. And I can honestly be grateful for that, even though the prayer implies a kind of male dominance, patriarchy, male superiority that I find profoundly disturbing. But there's quite a lot about this tradition that I find profoundly disturbing, and the fact that it is profoundly disturbing is why it is a religion. Basically, you don't get to have a metaphysics that does not contain trauma. You just don't. I would love to have a metaphysics where trauma wasn't real, or evil wasn't real, right? But, it exists, and so that's a thing that we need to grapple with. So Yahweh did not make me a woman, and patriarchy is traumatic, but I accept it, and I can make myself a woman, if I want to. And then I can also say to Asherah, thank you, Asherah, I repeat your name. Thank you for making me with many openings and cavities. And of course, Asherah did not make me with many openings and cavities. I did that as well. I developed the body that I developed. That was an internal act. Embryonic development is self-driven, right? This is one of the deepest mysteries in biology. How does a new form of life grow? How does life come out of itself, right? Where is the causality? I made myself. I grew my body with many openings and cavities. No gods required. And yet I say their names. I say their names. So, you feel bad for my moderators. My moderators are spectacular. Seriously, y'all are amazing. So we're going to be doing some community organizing on the Discord server very soon. My new semester is starting, I have another semester starting, and so like my schedule right now is a little bit in flux. But as soon as I get some of this work under my belt, I'm gonna schedule a meeting with you all to talk about how the community is growing and what we want to do to get to the next space that we want to be. I want to start doing a lot more programming on Discord and offering things that are maybe a little bit different from short TikTok videos or live streams, ways to engage that are more emotionally meaningful. And that's going to require work from everybody to make it good. So, yeah, we're going to have a meeting on the Discord. We'll talk about moderation. My moderators are amazing. I got a lot of messages from people after my last stream that my mods were a little bit over-eager, that folks were getting muted when they were trying to be polite, or they didn't understand why they were muted. And I hope you're back. I hope if that happened to you, that you are still back here. Sometimes moderation is tricky, right? Like, it's a team of 20 people. I don't know exactly who is here at any given time, or what their particular triggers are, or what they think, where they draw the lines. And so we talk on the Discord server on where the line ought to be drawn, but everybody's going to make different decisions, just have different levels of activity on the stream. And so the stream fluctuates, and sometimes there's a lot of mod activity and sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's a lot of troll activity and sometimes there's not. And I think that's really cool that we have this sort of mutating, undulating community here, and I want to talk about that with all of you, and I want to see if we can brainstorm ways of making it better and making it the kind of creature, the kind of community organism that we want it to be. Yeah, so join my Discord server. If you'd like to mod for me, if you'd like to make moderation better, please, I'm open to suggestions. Thank you for the heart, Shannon. Thank you so much. So, now I would like to sing you a song by Leonard Cohen about the Babylonian exile, right? So, we've been talking about this myth all morning for the last, 37 minutes. Gosh, I'm going slow. We've been talking for the last 37 minutes. About the Babylonian exile, about trauma, about the Egyptian occupation of Canaan, about Joshua's destruction of the city of Jericho and occupation of the land there, right? And all of those traumas become eclipsed by the first historical trauma, right? All of these other stories about Egypt and Joshua, they talk about genocides which may or may not have happened. In fact, they almost certainly did not happen the way they are written. But there were genocides that have been only remembered in this kind of traumatic fever dream. But the first trauma that we know, that is in the historical record, that did indeed happen, the first genocide that was documented in the archaeological record, was the Babylonian destruction of the city of Jerusalem in 586 BC. And at that time, the Empire of Babylon came and ripped down the walls of Jerusalem, killed the people inside it, carted the elites into exile in Babylon. And the people had to make sense of this trauma and make sense of all of the other traumas that came before it. And how do I want to sit? I want to sit like this. And out of the people trying to make sense of that trauma comes the Jewish religion as we know it. There are still things that were quite ancient, but that you see a form of Judaism after the Babylonian exile that far more closely resembles what we have today than anything that came before. So this is a song about the creation and destruction of the people of Judah, Jerusalem. And it goes like this. I came upon a wedding that old families had contrived, with Bethlehem the bridegroom and Babylon the bride. Oh, great Babylon was trembling, and she stood there naked with me. And Bethlehem inflamed us both like the shy one at some orgy. And when we fell together, all our flesh was like a veil that we had to draw aside to see the serpent eat its tail. Some women wait for Jesus, and some we wait for Cain. So I'll hang upon my altar, and I'll hoist my axe again. And I'll take the one who finds me back to where it all began, back when Jesus was the honeymoon, and Cain was just a man. And we'll read from pleasant Bibles that are bound in blood and skin, that Asherah is gathering all her children back again. A snake eating its own tail, yep, that sums it up quite well. A Bible made of blood and skin. We are our own creation and our own destruction. Babylon and Bethlehem are one, right? That's the claim. Yahweh Echad. There was something that someone said. Can I sing along? Yes, you can sing along. If you are familiar with these songs, if you've been here day after day and you know what I am saying, please do sing along, please. And if there's songs that you would like to sing together, suggest them, and if I like them, I will learn them. Like, the liturgy that I do, I've developed over many years based on, I encounter certain pieces of music and I really like them and I incorporate it in. So I'm very open to song suggestions, particularly in the Discord. I can't really look at them on the live stream, but I want to sing with you all. That's what I want to sing with. I want to sing with you all. You talk and sing about the same things all the time. Yes, I do. This is the show. This is what this live stream is. I'm producing content, and it's the same content every day, and there's a reason for it to be the same content every day, right? There are deep reasons. Say these words every day. But also, I would like to change things up, and I want there to be more community involvement. So please sing along. Please. So, now we're gonna shift into Sanskrit. So these next few prayers are from the Shivananda yoga tradition. And they go like this. Wow, blossoms. Thank you. Gajananam bhutakanati sevitam kapita jambupala sarabakshitam umasitam sakabinasakarnam nahami migneshwara pada pankajam sadananam sunkumaraktavarnam mahamatim divyamayuravahanam ridasyasinam sarasainanatam guham sadanam saranam prapadye yaku handutu saraharadavala yasubravasvarita yavinavarandamanditakara yasvita padmasana yabrahmachuta sankara pratra Devasata Pujita Samampatu Saraswati Bhagavati Nihe Sajadyapaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nisparanchaya Santaya Shishivanandaya Te Namaha Shri Vishnu Devanandaya Te Namaha Om Sarva Mangla Manglaye Shive Savarta Sadike Sarni Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om I salute the three-eyed Divine Mother Narayani, who brings auspiciousness and who fulfills all the desires of the devotee, both spiritual and material. Shall we do one more? This next prayer is called the Maharityunjaya Mantra. It is in Sanskrit, for those of you who will ask. Jayambakam Yajamai Sugandim Pusche Vardhanam Varvarukami Bhavandanan Mrityai Mukshiyamamritatom Jayambakam Yajamai Sugandim Pusche Vardhanam Varvarukami Bhavandanan Mrityai Mukshiyamamritatom Sarvesham Svastir Bhavati Sarvesham Shantir Bhavati Sarvesham Purnam Bhavati Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavati Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Makashitu Kabhagbhave Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityur Mamritam Gamaya Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishate Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. Farewell, Rainbow Patches. So nice to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. That outer world is full. This inner world is also full. From fullness comes fullness. Taking full from full, fullness remains. The serpent can eat its tail and still be one. It's the same meaning, every prayer. So now we're going to sing a prayer about prayer. Prayer about prayer. Ouroboros, yes. And if you would like to sing along with this one, please do. I know many of you know it. And if it brings up any thoughts in you, please share them. Or more generally, I like hearing why people pray while I'm praying this prayer. We're gonna sing a song in English now. This is a song called "I Don't Want to Pray" by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. It goes like this. I don't want to pray to my maker, no. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink and golden land and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray, and it's not much good to talk, better to walk it, ooh, not much good to take, better to give, We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins, and I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again, so pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair, see, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. I love Allah, Allah made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good. And Anat, Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my Maker. I just want to be what I see. Not like in a book or the leaves of trees that shook, and my word that means only not a thing. No, no. Pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good. And Anat, Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made me. You don't know how to pray. I don't know either. But I did like reading what you all said. Praying is just being. Praying is pain. There's a lot of that. Praying is pain. Interesting. Girl, I should grow bangs. Yeah, I know. Did you know that I have a male pattern? My hairline goes all the way back like that. I don't like it. One day I will get surgery to fix it. But until then, these are all the bangs I can grow, actually. I have bangs. They go all the way down here. Praying is living. Yes, indeed. So, oh, thank you. Does anyone know what religion this is? What religion do you think this is? What religion is this? What do you think it is? People ask me this question, and I can tell you, okay, so part of it is Jewish, and part of it comes from the Shivananda tradition. The prayer that we're going to do next is called Arati. Comes from the Shivananda yoga tradition, right? So that's the religion of this particular prayer, right? Shivananda styled Hinduism. You hope it's not religion. Non-denominational. It's witchcraft. You don't feel this is religion. You feel it's spirituality. Great. See, that's a much better answer than I ever could have given. Thank you all so much. What are we doing? I'm confused. What are we doing? You let me know. What are we doing? Unemployment being put to good use. I think so. Yes, indeed. Traumatized cry for help. Perhaps. Universal religion. I love these responses. I love them. They're so good. You think I'm secretly a toxic bully? Maybe. You'll never know. All you get to see is my image. You're right. I am hiding behind a screen. It's not witchcraft. As you practice witchcraft, this is Jewish. Okay, so it's witchcraft, but it's not witchcraft. A breath of fresh air. Well, let's do Arati. Let's do Arati. So the word Arati in Sanskrit means flame. And this is a prayer from the Shivananda yoga tradition in the Sanskrit language. Are my mods still here? I'm sure some of them are still here. Some of them have left. If you'd like to mod for me, join my Discord server, and we can have a conversation about community organizing. I've said this multiple times on the stream, but I have to repeat myself because there's new people. I'm going to be doing some serious community organizing work over the next 2 weeks, say. I have to get some schoolwork under my belt first, but as soon as I finish the schoolwork, I'm going to start organizing meetings on my Discord server where we have a conversation about the community that we are building together. Because we've reached a critical mass, and it's so cool. Yeah, my mod team is spectacular, and there's still room for more. So if you'd like to join the mod team, if you'd like to... And this will extend beyond just moderating a live stream. It's going to be more than that. So if you'd like to help grow this community, just stick around. Join the server, and we'll have a meeting soon. You weren't talking to me, love. Only the rude people. Okay, well that's good. You want to help? Great. Join the server. So. Arati means flame. Here's our little flame. Little flame. So I'm gonna say this one more time. This prayer is in Sanskrit. And if someone asks what language it's in, please let them know that it's in Sanskrit. Hi, friend. I'm so glad you're here, Kat Colibri. You got to listen for the whole hour. Has it been an hour? Nearly. Yes, it's nearly been an hour. How do I join the server? There's a link in my description. There's a link in the description to join the server. Thanks, Kat Colibri. It's going to be in Sanskrit, not Hindi. It goes like this. Jaya Jayarati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jayaratiya Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jayaratiya Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jayarati Venkanta Ramana Sankata Harana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jayarati Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jayarati Rajarajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati Mahakali and Mahashakti Jaya Jayarati Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jayarati Dattatreya Trimutriya Vatara Jaya Jayarati Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jayarati Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jayarati Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jayarati Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jayarati Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jayarati Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jayarati Ayapa Swamine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jayarati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jayarati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namaha Jaya Jayarati Venugopala. Om Natatra Suyobati Natandrakaratam Nema Vidyobati Kutoya Magni Tomeva Bantamanabanti Sarvam Tasya Basya Samitam Pivanti Om Gange Kayamune Kaivagovari Saraswati Narmade Sudukaveriya Namastitam Namo Namaha. Neither the sun shines there, nor the moon, stars, and lightning. So from where does its light come? When that shines, everything shines after that. By its light, everything else is lit. Light and energy are intertwined. Om, peace, peace. So, I do drugs. I have a bona fide marijuana addiction. I'm not proud of it. But I have one. And I do use that drug to good effect in my life. Hope that clears that up. Twameva mata chapita twameva bandishasaka twameva vidya javinam Twameva sarvam mama deva kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakrite sabhavad karomi adyad mangalam parasmahi narayanaiti sarmarpayami sarvadharmam pravichaya mimikam savranam vraja aham sva sarvapapaya mokshayami masucha. Whatever action I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotion, all these, I dedicate to you, to all of you. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. It's a truly amazing gift. And thank you all for all the roses. That's also amazing. TikTok tells me at this point in the stream that I need to ask you to like the stream, because however many people like it is the number of people that get to see it, and the community gets to grow, and blah, 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 blah. What is this buffoonery? I'm not sure. What is it? Y'all let me know. Y'all have been answering that question very well. What are we doing here? It's up to you, actually. I'm acting, I'm performing. Yes, I'm performing. I'm performing a character of myself, right? This is an image of myself. This is a person that I've wanted to be for so long, and it's finally coming true in a way that I could not possibly have imagined. Yeah. But yes, this is a performance. It's an authentic performance. And if you want to understand me a little bit more complexly, you can join my Discord server and we can chat. We can grow this community. And what the performance is largely up to you. Depends on what you want us to be doing. Right? This is being shaped by a dialectic between all of us. Can we sing again? Yes. Let's sing. We've got one more song. This is a mourner's song. A dirge. It's called the Mourner's Kaddish. And it's for all of the people who died yesterday of coronavirus, and for all those others who suffer from the various forces of death and injustice that have plagued the living since our lineage began 3.8 billion years ago, and will continue to cause us all to suffer until we are all done, however many billions of years from now that will be. And for the last 2,500 years, 3,500 years, 4,500 years, the word Kaddish has been spoken by my ancestors. At times it meant a goddess of sex and death, like this. This is Kaddish. At times it was the name of a city which was destroyed, Kadesh. At times it was the sight of angels at the throne of God chanting, "Holy, holy, holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh," when their city was also being destroyed. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. And we will say these words that have been said so many times before in response to death. They sound a little bit like this. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah v'yamad yvrach v'yamlich malchute b'chayachonu v'yomechonu v'chayedi kol beit Yisrael b'galad v'zman karif v'yimru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah miv'arach li'alam omei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha baruchu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechimata t'yamiran v'yamav v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. What religion is this? So the Mourner's Kaddish. The Mourner's Kaddish is a Jewish prayer, Aramaic prayer. But what religion is this? Y'all ask, what religion is this? Will you please let her know? I do not feel qualified to answer the question. What religion is this? What religion is this? What would you say? So I'm not quite leaving just yet. We're gonna change the camera angles. We're gonna stop